Okay, great. All right. I think we are live. Welcome back to the third day of World Teachers' Day. It's Saturday morning UK time, and this is the first of six sessions today. And today I'm really happy to have Girish Mulani joining us from, where are you joining us from, Girish?
It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon here. So
Oh,
to give you a guess, yes, I am in Thailand. Hi, Mahmoud,
ah.
Muhammad. It's a bit cloudy here, not as bright over there, Melissa.
Yeah, that's not what I expected. I expected the weather to be the other way round.
No, it's been raining.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Girish. This is going to be great. I'm going to tell the audience a little bit about you. I've got your
Okay,
biography,
yes.
and I know that anyone who teaches young adults and adults is really going to enjoy this session. Um, Girish is from India. He works now in Thailand. He works with the British Council, delivering professional skills and English lessons to business English clients. So that's his speciality. He's a teacher trainer. He holds certificates in training from NILE and the British Council. And yeah, he's really interested in improving workplace skills through some really interesting methods that I won't give too much away. I don't want to say too much, but I think you'll really enjoy this. So, Girish,
Yeah,
when you are ready, you can start screen sharing and we'll start.
all right.
And
Okay,
then I'll be here if you need me. So, happy
sure.
World Teachers Day, everyone. Let's go.
Yeah, hello, everybody. Um, Let me start with something very important for this webinar and also for me. And it has to do with my relationship with my reporting manager and my boss. Before I share more, I would invite you to, if you could share one word to describe your relationship with your reporting manager or boss, or if you are the boss, one word to describe your relationship with your reports. Could you type that in chat box? I'll try to read as many as I can, but given the speed, I might skip a few. Oh, thanks. Oh, amazing. Positive. Okay, distant. Friendly, independent, diplomatic, understanding. Oh, lovely, Maria, your own boss. Respectful, yeah, supportive, friendly, yeah. These are all positive, very positive. Glad to hear that. Okay, Dipti, your own boss, lovely. The reason why I asked this is because my relationship with my boss is a little complicated because she happens to be my wife, my better half as well. And to bring this together, what I'm going to share with you today comes from my failures and mistakes in the training room, from my conversations with my participants, my mentor, my trainer, and most importantly, my conversations with my wife, who happens to be an ICF certified coach, which means that whenever we have some disagreements, she uses her coaching skills to fool me. So like last time, it was her turn to take the car to service and she forgot. So I asked her that, hey, it's your turn to take the car to service. So she asked back, Girish, what do you think taking the car to service means to our relationship? That's when I turned around, took the car key and left. Yeah. So what I'm going to share with you today has to do a lot with the idea or the concept of person above pedagogy. And a lot of this is influenced by these two books that I've read and learned from. Um, Let me start sharing my screen and show you what I have for you today. Uh, just a second. Chrome. Okay, just a second. I can't see the screen. All right, let me try again. Okay. Sorry, just give me a minute. It seems my presentation got accidentally closed. I'm going to start it again. I'm going to open the presentation. Just give me a second. It's opening. Okay, yeah, it's open now.
Yeah, great. We can see it now.
All right, thank you. Okay, this is what I have for you today. The disclaimer I have here is that I am not a certified coach. What I'm going to share with you comes from my experience and my learning. So I'm open to your suggestions as well. It's just that I would like to invite you to consider these points when you get into the training room. The gestation, the beginning, or the idea, the seed of this idea of this webinar came from listening to Evan Frando, where he talked in his IITFL plenary last year in 2023, where he focused on corporate training. And I'll tell you more about it, but let me share a story first with you. I think last week I was in conversation with one of our clients. He is the head of commercials at a huge science and laboratory company. And he approached us because he is based in Vietnam, but he doesn't speak Vietnamese. And his team, which comprises all Vietnamese, are facing some trouble with English. So he reached out to us to look for solution. And the conversation was pretty short because he was at the airport and he had to leave. So he had only a few minutes to share. And I heard him talk and he mentioned a few points. I would like to show you those points and I want you to guess which of these points were highlighted in that conversation. I'm going to share my screen one more time and show it to you. Okay, here are 6 points. Can you write in the chat box the numbers you believe he mentioned on the call with me? Okay, Corinne, 4, Nida, 3. Okay, there could be more than one. Okay, Sylvia, Lena. Okay, yeah. Yes. Okay, yeah, most of you have guessed it right. Yes, you're right. It was 4, 5, 6, and I've added 2 more. That is what was mentioned. So you see where I'm going with this. What I've realized is that corporate clients are not so much concerned about the accurate use of language. They're more focused on what their team can do or how they can perform using that language. And that's what Evan Frando was getting at, that corporate training has to be more outcome-based. They want to see outcomes. And I remember, you know what, one more thing to bring home this point. I was listening to an HBR podcast where Chobani is a huge yogurt company based in America, and their founder, who's Turkish and who moved to the USA and picked up English, he was talking and conversing, and he made one point where he mentioned that he's a very hands-on leader. He likes to work with his team. And he said this, I quote, he said, "I like to work in the ground with my team." Where he actually meant was on the ground with the team. But do you believe a lot of people cared? Do you think the podcaster paused and told him, you meant on the ground, right? I don't think so. And that's where I am going to invite you to consider the outcomes of the organization and the outcomes of the participants. For example, the organization wants to see the KPIs being met. When you discuss your needs, when you're doing the needs analysis with your participants, check what they really want. They want to feel confident, I believe. They're not so focused on the accurate use of present perfect continuous. They are more focused on if they can make a presentation without feeling nervous. And that's where I'm going to, and that's where I believe that conformity to standard English has become more of an irrelevant concept now. It's more to do with how you can use English to do your tasks. Do you agree with me? Let's do a quick poll. Let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you do not agree with me at all, and 10 being you completely and absolutely agree with me. Can you write in the chat the number? Okay. Thanks, Maria. 11. Professional. 8. Okay. Okay. Most of you do agree. Lovely. Thanks. Yep. And this brings me to my next story where my effort produced 0 results. And this happened to me a few months ago. I was doing an online executive presence workshop with this French company, and the group of leaders were based in India. Thanks, Ladia. 11. These group of leaders were based in India, and they were doing this 4-day workshop. It was split in 2 weeks, and we were focused on executive presence. On day 2, we were talking about writing an elevator pitch, a 30-second elevator pitch, which is a pitch you use to grab attention when you meet someone, when you go for networking. So this regional sales director who was there in the room, on a training room, he highlighted to me that he's finding it difficult to write the 30-second elevator pitch. He doesn't find it very captivating. That's what he told me. So I suggested maybe he can think about his purpose, his life or work purpose, and that could help create a better engaging elevator pitch. So he said, okay, he can think about that. And for that, I shared these 2 videos with him. On the left is the TEDx talk, a 5-minute, quick 5-minute thing where you can think about your purpose. On the right is a podcast by Huberman. So I sent him both. And I thought, okay, maybe this would help, which is a big mistake though. So the next day he comes back, and then we were discussing, and I asked him, like, did it help? Are you able to do that? And he said, yeah, he watched the video, but he didn't find it helpful. And I wasn't sure why. It did not help him. Even by day 4, he couldn't get to the purpose. And that led me to ask a question, why? Why was I not able to help? What went wrong? So that's when I went and spoke to my trainer, my TAP trainer. I spoke to my wife, my mentor, and I tried to understand what went wrong. Why was I not able to help him? And that's when I realized my biggest mistake was I was trying to relieve the surface pain without trying to get to the root cause of the problem or the pain point of the participant. I was trying to just give a quick solution to a situation which I don't understand deeply yet. And that was one of the biggest lessons for me, that I need to understand my participants' ideas, beliefs, emotions before I even try and address their pain point. And unfortunately, my misfortune, that in that same training, my second mistake, my second failure happened right then. This was with the head of R&D. Even she was there in the training room. And on day 1, I asked them to share what they wish to achieve in this workshop. And one of the points she highlighted was she wants to be able to regulate her emotions better in the meetings, because apparently she tends to become a little aggressive and loses her patience when things are not going her way. Her reports are not performing the way she wants them. So on day 2, when we reached that part of emotional regulation, I got into a quick conversation, and I want to show you 2 conversations. One of them happened, the other one is imaginary. I would like you to guess in the chat, if you can guess, which of the two conversations happened? Okay, conversation A is on the left and conversation B is on the right. This is what the head of R&D mentioned. Which one do you think actually happened? A. Thank you, A. Kareem, yeah. Thank you, May. A, B, A, B, A. Yeah, yes, most of you are right. Unfortunately, it was A which actually happened. I asked this question, and you could see when you compare the two, you could see which one is actually moving forward, or which one is allowing the participant to go deeper into the situation. B part is clearly going there where I want them to go. And these two experiences, these two big mistakes actually brought me like to realize like I cannot try and just go directly to the solution. I need to understand my participants' ideas, beliefs, and thoughts about the situation. And that's where I came up with these guiding principles. I'll give you a minute to read this, 30 seconds to read this. In any training room or a classroom, there are multiple movies playing. Of course, there is your movie where you are the central character of that movie. Then there is the classroom. The training room itself is a movie, and there are multiple characters. You could decide who can be the main character, the hero. And then there is your learner, the participant, who has their own movies playing. What I would encourage you to do is do not try to become the hero of their movie. Let them be the main character and decide. When they share their pain point for the first time, try and not focus on the story. Try and focus on the person. Try and understand their values, what they hold, what is the strongest values. In fact, I'll give you another story. This happened with me, okay? A few years ago, okay? Quite a few years ago, I was being observed by a trainer. And at the end of, post-training discussion, in the post-training discussion, the post-observation discussion, the trainer suggested that maybe I should try and use the learner's L1 to help ease the process of acquisition. Unfortunately, at that time, I held a very strong belief that L1 interferes with L2. So I shouldn't be using that. So you could guess what happened in the next few training rooms. Do you think I ever considered using L1? Unfortunately, no. It took me quite a few number of failures and picking up another language to understand the importance of L1. And that's what I'm getting at. Try and focus on the person and their values. Go deeper, not broader. And what I would invite you to do is think about using what questions instead of why and how. Why? When you ask why, like when the participant is highlighting their pain point at the beginning, I would suggest you avoid why questions because they tend to make people more defensive. We are trying to become more defensive. And how? Focus more on the procedure, on the process. But if you want to understand the character deeply, I would invite you to use what questions. I'm going to show you these what questions in the next slide. Just to tell you that our end goal in a training room, when our participant is highlighting their pain points, our goal should be to move their mindset forward. They should be able to think for themselves. The goal is to help them reflect on their situation and try to find answers within themselves, promoting autonomy. And this I've seen now in the recent few workshops I've seen has helped me connect better with my participants. I think they are able to open up with me and share some of their vulnerabilities, and I do the same with them. Okay, coming back to the what questions, let me show you a few example what questions. I'll give you 30 seconds to read this. I genuinely believe that these questions would allow the participant to go deeper into reflection and understanding the situation better. What does it mean to you? What makes it important for you? What are your thoughts on? It seems, if you can summarize the situation in one line, try and do that. If you can encapsulate the emotion, fantastic, not a problem, because you are now trying to tell the participant that you understand them. They might not agree. That's why I would use the word it seems. If they don't agree, they will correct you and tell you honestly how they feel or what the situation is. So go ahead and use such a phrase and ask them. Keep it open. What about this sounds true to you? And what is making it challenging for you? Okay. Shall we do a quick practice round? Shall we play word wall and do one quick question transformation activity? Okay. I'm going to reshare and go to the word wall activity. Okay. I think I have it on. Let me just hold on. Let me stop sharing and do this again. Just give me 30 seconds because again, my browser turned off. Okay, close. Okay, it's opening. Yeah, it's opening. Okay, are you ready? I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna spin the wheel. There are 3 questions. I'm gonna spin the wheel and let's see where it lands. Whichever question it lands on, I would encourage you to transform that question into a deeper question, a what question. Let's try this. Okay, yes, Melissa, are you able to see this?
Yeah, hi Girish. I can't see it actually. I
Oh,
think we could see the word wall when it was the
okay, got
browser,
it.
but when it opened up, we lost it. So maybe we need to keep
Oh,
it small.
all right. How about now?
Yeah, I can see it now. Great.
Oh, thanks. Okay, so the question is, why were you feeling unconfident at the networking event? How would you transform this? Or do you think this is okay? Although I don't agree completely if you say it's okay. So thanks, Corinne. Yeah, I hope now you can see this. Oh, thanks, May Magdalene. Yeah, what made you feel unconfident? Lovely. Okay, Frederick, yeah, that could go. What made you feel uncomfortable? Yeah, thanks. Mutun Rayo, please, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. What made you feel unconfident or not confident? Thanks, Pamela. What was challenging for you, Asya? All right, Tina. All right, what made you feel unconfident? Yeah, I think, yeah. Can you change this into a what? What made you feel confident? All right, Rajiv, thanks. Yeah, you've got that. Yeah, what are your thoughts on? Oh, lovely, Ala Marzouk. I hope I pronounced it right. Yeah, what are your thoughts on networking? Yeah, you could go that. Thank you. Let's try one more. Okay. What do you think? Why do you think it's difficult? You can think of, replace the it with anything if you like. Okay, quick, Pamela. Yeah, what made it difficult? What makes it difficult? Yeah. Difficult at work. Yeah, thank you. What could be challenging? Okay, what makes it difficult? Yes. Yes, Marina. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. What is holding you back? Okay. What is holding you back? Okay, maybe. What makes it difficult? What are challenges? What is difficult? Yeah. Yep, you are. Yeah, we are on the same page. What is it that makes it difficult? Thanks, Delina. Lovely. Okay. I'm going to go back to the presentation now. It seems like you guys know it now pretty well, how to transform why questions into what questions. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. And I have a situation for you. Okay. 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 Let's look at this next situation. And what do you think you could do? Okay. Take 30 seconds to read this one single situation. Okay, ask. Yeah. What do you think you could ask? Like, what makes it difficult? It, okay. Yeah, it is the homework. All right. You think it's difficult. All right. Green. Okay. Oh, Yasin, interesting. You said I wouldn't ask. Lovely. I would love to hear why you wouldn't want to ask. Interesting. Motun Raya, what is going on? I am not so sure about that. Makes it difficult. Pavela, what did you do in the last 3 days? I'm not so sure about that. Prevented you from saying anything. Maybe. Kendi Kovahana. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Maybe. Asya. Okay. Frederick, okay. Okay. Is everything okay? Do you need help? I'm not so sure about that. Okay, Patricia. I like this one. What do you feel about the homework task? Lovely. I think, yeah, I would be on the similar lines. Yeah, I would ask something like that. And maybe I would actually just make this an open question, classroom question. And this could lead to a very deep reflective session. Let them discuss with each other if you want. If you don't want to just single out X, and let them have a conversation. Try to understand the deeper reasons of why X has been avoiding. What is it? What do they think about homework? What are the thoughts on that? Lovely, Shivani. Yeah, Shivari. What makes you flourish out? Difficult about the task. Yeah, Majori. Yeah, I like that one. What do you find difficult about the task? Maybe, yeah. What is making doing homework more challenging for you? Maybe. Okay, something on those lines. Yeah, all of this, what I'm trying to get at is, and the crux or the meat of this entire presentation for me is this. When we go deeper into their stories, they will just tell you what they already know, and it won't really lead you to the deeper concerns. But when you question the person, you're inviting them to think about things probably they haven't thought about before. They might have a eureka moment for themselves, come up with something interesting. And when you do this openly, maybe you want them to first discuss in groups, make them feel comfortable in the groups, then probably share it with the entire class. And one more thing, which is very important, is in order for you to get genuine answers or to make the participant feel comfortable to share with you, it's important that you have built psychological safety. The environment should be conducive for them to express themselves and be authentic. And that onus lies a lot on you, how you develop that. Because if the relationship is a bit shaky, there is not consolidation, it's difficult to bring out the authentic self of your participant. So yeah, that's something I would want you to consider. Yeah, it seems I've finished before time. So there'll be more time for question and answer. Yeah, we are 10 minutes before time, Melissa, isn't it?
That's all right. We've probably got lots of questions, and I'm sure
Okay,
people have lots of
that's good.
things to ask. Thank you so much, Girish. I really like the end quote. Yeah, that's really something to reflect on. Um, I teach not exactly adults, but young adults, undergraduates on university courses, and yeah, that made me think about them and the style of teaching. So,
You know, sorry, Melissa, just to add one more point, because you
yeah.
brought this up about a university student. So I spoke to my wife about this, like, can this be applied to young adults, to teenagers? And there is a question
Mm,
by, I think, Melissa, please, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing, and she asked, can we ask these deep questions to primary school students? So when I discussed this with my coach, ICF certified coach wife, and she mentioned, yes, you can, absolutely can. Their processing,
mhm,
it will be different. Their experiences are different. Their understanding will be different. But you can invite them to share. Let them think.
mhm,
There's nothing wrong with it. Whatever they share is probably going to be more authentic and genuine than what an adult would share, because it will be going through a lot of
mhm.
filtration process. But the child will tell you honestly what they're thinking and feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, with those undergraduate students, I definitely could use all these techniques. And I used to teach secondary school students, so older teenage and them as well. I mean, they really kind of need to talk about their emotions and benefit from talking about kind of their emotions and thinking and going deeper and thinking about the what, which is kind of looking to the future. Yeah, that would be absolutely great for them.
Yeah. I think that's another thing that I heard, that when you allow your teenagers, because they're going through so many emotions, and
Mm,
once you create that psychological safety in the room, and when they're able to express genuinely what they're feeling, their fears about being judged, being
mm,
shamed, because there could be people commenting. And if you are able to build that culture or that environment where they are able to be open to each other and share what they feel, and if
mhm,
they're what they're afraid of, that could actually make them a very cohesive unit where
mhm.
they can express themselves freely, they can share their deepest concerns, and maybe you'll build the best of relationships.
Yeah, yeah, and if you can build that relationship with learners, I mean, it doesn't matter if they're
Yeah.
teenage or adult, then I think you'll get the best results because they will and feel free when talking to you. They'll trust you and being a language learner can be difficult, right? You make mistakes, you feel this internal guilt, which we shouldn't, but it's something that happens to people. And so, yeah, trusting the teacher and where they're taking you, I think is really important.
Yeah. In fact, oh, sorry, Melissa. Please go ahead, finish your
Leslie,
thought.
thanks for that question. Yeah, it was a great question about using it with
Yeah.
younger students.
Just when you are talking about learning the language and these deep thinking questions, I have realized that because I'm learning Thai as well, so when I'm conversing Thai language with strangers and not with my wife around, it comes out very naturally. But when I am
Mm-hmm.
with my wife right next to me, who happens to be Thai, I seem to
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of inhibitions. I tend to
Yeah.
stop. My confidence level goes down. And it made me think, why is that? Where does my language go? It's right there. What happens? And it
Mm-hmm.
allowed me to understand, like, has a lot to do with my ego my self-image, which is under attack because there is someone highly professional standing right next to me, and I know
Yeah.
I'm going to make mistakes, and she's right there. And I've realized that, okay, if I want to really speak, if I want to be more proficient, maybe I shouldn't go with her anyway. You should do alone and practice the language as much as I can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a great story. And I really have experienced the exact same thing as well. I mean, I live in a country, um, I live in a region where I was brought up speaking English, but people in the region in Spain that I live in speak Spanish and Basque. And when I was learning, I've lived here for a long time now, but when I was learning, it was most difficult to talk Spanish or try Basque with people that I knew best because for the same reasons you've described, there's a fear comes over you of somebody seeing what you're doing and feeling embarrassed, but you realize that's kind of holding you back. It shouldn't, but it's difficult to work on that, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's a self-image part.
Um, there are a couple more good questions in the chat
Yes, yes.
and in the Q&A area. Um, Well, Amira asks a
Texting.
question, and it's kind of rooted in psychology. If we can answer it, great. If you don't feel like we can answer it, then let's then don't worry. And
Yeah,
Amira asks, how can you help a learner see their potential when it's seen by everyone but themselves? So a learner
yeah.
who isn't realizing their potential.
Mm.
Do you have any advice for Amira?
Difficult one. I just try, Amira. I'm no expert. But then the first thing that came to my mind while reading that question was, what is going on with that learner? What
Yeah.
is stopping them from seeing their potential? Maybe we can
Mm.
start there. I think, yeah, it's understanding the character, clearly what's happening, what they value, their beliefs. And once you understand that and show that understanding to that learner, probably they will try to tell you then more about what's going on. I think once you know
Mhm.
what's going on, then you can encourage them to come up with their own solutions. I would suggest hold on with your solutions. Don't try to go for a solution, try to show them something. Just build that relationship where they can be honest with you and tell you what's happening with them.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
start there,
that's
maybe.
that's great advice. Is I'm going to take a question that's come in from our Facebook audience. So, hello to our Facebook
Yeah.
audience. We're glad you're with
Hey.
us. So you can't see these comments, but I'll read those out to you, Girish.
Mhm.
So it's a question from Yazin, and Yazin asks, do you think that people with high EQ, so emotional
Intelligence, a
quotient,
quotient, yeah. Yes.
yeah, if that's how you say it. Do you think with people with high EQ are more successful at work kind of because of their social capabilities
Eloquent,
to
yeah.
thrive and to take that? Is that related to
Absolutely it
performance?
is. Yeah, absolutely. In
Okay.
fact, I'm currently on this Daniel Goleman emotional intelligence course, and I've been reading a
Uh-huh.
lot about emotional intelligence. And there is n number of studies which show that if you have the IQ, yes, it can make you, it can get you the job, it can help you do your job well. But when you are working with people, and if you want to climb up, go up higher the ladder, I mean,
Mm,
climb up the ladder, what they've found, the key difference is it lies in emotional intelligence. In fact,
mm,
the research says that 90% of top performing leaders have high EQ scores.
okay.
And even there's another research which tried to analyze 33 soft skills, and they tried to figure out which of the soft skills has the highest amount of influence at work. And they found out that 58% of influence is built from emotional intelligence.
Wow. So working on that in the classroom, yeah, it's important then.
Absolutely, everywhere, everywhere. Yes, and as you said, it's about understanding. If you want to
Hmm.
influence someone or persuade someone, you got to show them that you care,
Hmm.
and they need to see that in order for you to be able to influence them.
Hmm. There's a quote that is on Facebook from Mohammed, and he
Mhm.
said, uh, as a teacher, we should always adopt a you attitude. With a you attitude, we're always addressing the listener and the reader, so making things personal. Yeah, do you agree with what Mohammed is saying there?
Oh, can I read that somewhere? Or could you say
Um,
that again?
no, I've got it.
Uh,
I've got it on a document. I'll read
okay,
it
all
out
right. Could
again,
you?
yeah, because it's important
Okay.
to kind of
Hmm.
hear it all.
Okay.
Mohammed said, it's important as a teacher to adopt a you attitude. With a you attitude, we're always addressing the listener and the reader. So talking to students, I guess not
Mm-hmm.
like we're going to do this, but focusing on their
Mm-hmm.
learning objectives, what they're going to do, and saying, okay, you
Mm-hmm.
want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I
Does
think.
that seem like good advice for you?
um, yes, partially I would agree. It is. I
Hmm.
mean, as I mentioned earlier, every participant, every learner has a movie going on for themselves, and they are the central character of that movie. And I wouldn't want us to become the central character of that movie.
Hmm.
But
I think the
also
comment
remember,
was related to that part. Yeah.
probably, yeah. And probably there are multiple movies playing. There is this whole movie, the culture, which is the entire classroom, where the characters can shift. It can be I as well, where I'm sharing something important to build that connect with my learners, for them to know me better as well.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Let's go to another topic because
Yeah.
there's some other comments on Facebook that I think are interesting. So Osama and Alex have started talking on Facebook about the focus on communicative skills and these kind of workplace skills rather than grammatical efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are saying on Facebook, but if you are focused on these outcomes, do you ever have problems then when you want to teach a grammar lesson? The students maybe don't see it as important. Is it
Mm-hmm.
difficult to deal with that conflict, or do you separate those things?
Oh, what I have realized is that I do not make grammar as the main focus or the main highlight of the lesson.
Yeah.
Grammar is embedded in the larger picture, what they're trying to do. So if they're trying to be confident in presenting something, or they're making a presentation, they have a presentation to make to their team. For that,
Hmm.
they need this presentation structure, and they're presenting. And in that, there could be a point where they want to talk about the sales figure of last year. So
Yeah.
that's when they might want to know, oh, I think you might want to use past simple there when you're talking about that. And when you want to connect that to current year, you might want to use present perfect to clarify your point. Maybe there is where I might just highlight that, where it's become important. But the focus at the end is always about, can they be confident in presenting? Because even if you make slight mistake with the
Yeah.
tense, I think people will allow you to present as long as you're getting the meaning is clear.
Yeah, so I think that's good advice for Mohammed and Alex there. I guess that's a tenet of task-based learning, right? The
Yes, it
outcome
is.
is the
Exactly.
task, but then
Yeah.
underneath we are language teachers, so we are putting in bits of
Yeah.
language for them to do. And then, like you said, you come back to the goal. The goal is the presentation,
Mm,
really.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good advice. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's a question about coaching,
Mhm.
and it asks if a teacher wants to learn more about coaching, yeah, what should they do? How can they start learning?
Find a partner who's a certified coach. Or
Oh,
but I really like this book. Simple
okay.
to the point. Actually, this is what my wife bought, and I borrowed it just to skim through what's there. And I got so engrossed, I couldn't stop reading. I just went on and on
Mhm.
and on. And I love this book. And there is a ICF portal where they have a community of certified coaches. You could be
Mhm.
part of that. Maybe you want to get certified yourself.
Okay. Good advice. Yeah, I think there's probably lots and lots of books
Yeah.
out there on
Yeah.
coaching, and I see it becoming more and more popular for English teachers to learn about coaching and to become a language coach. So, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's going to be more books and articles in the future coming out about combining language teaching and coaching. and
Absolutely.
coaching becoming like a sub skill that a teacher would learn about. Do you think that's a trend that's going further, that's going to happen? I didn't learn
Absolutely.
about coaching when I did a teaching qualification, but
Uh-huh.
maybe the teachers of the future will learn about that.
Yeah, I think I have found that as an added tool to my facilitation that has helped me
Uh-huh.
understand my learners better. In fact, I have a teacher community, trainer community where we have one language coach who has picked up this coaching, and I can see her transforming as a trainer, how she talks about her entire training, how she's able to get these aha moments for these
Yeah.
students. The students have started to have these aha moments. So I really find it positive. I think, yeah, I would encourage people to just explore, start with just
Mm.
exploring and understanding what coaching is, what kind of coaching questions are.
Yeah, I think I've kind of had the same kind of experience with a group of teachers, and we were looking at the questions that we ask in the classroom, and
Mm.
we were trying to kind of analyze: do we ask more open-ended questions or closed questions or questions that people already know the answer to? And it was really interesting to analyze a piece of your own class and see that you ask a lot of yes no questions and it's not really going anywhere. So
Mm.
I really enjoyed your section about changing the why questions to a what question, because it gives better answers. And actually in the language classroom, more speaking, more language as an
Yeah,
answer is a good
true.
result, right? That's what we want. So that's a really a thing that I'll definitely remember. Uh-huh.
Mm. Great, thank you.
We have put
Yeah.
the link to the book in the chat that
Yes,
Girish
I saw
will.
Cat did.
So if anyone wants to
Resourceful.
look at,
Cat is resourceful.
yeah, great. All right, let's see if we have any more
Mm.
good questions coming up. Pardon me. Um, let's see. Well, here's a question from Nelson, and Nelson
Mhm.
asks, um, do you have any advice for students who kind of don't want to practice and don't want to kind of follow this approach? Have you ever had anyone that felt that they didn't like this style of asking them a lot about their personal life? I've had students
Mm.
before who just wanted a lot of grammar
Mm.
practice, and it was really
Mm.
hard to break them away from that. Have you had, but those were teenage students.
Yeah,
Does that
correct.
happen to you with workplace adults? Or have they always been receptive? Maybe you're,
Um, what I have experienced in workplace skills, firstly, we hardly have any grammar specific lessons. It's always about the skill that they're trying to gain. It could be an EQ
uh-huh.
workshop, communicative presence workshop, or presentations. And yes, I have had participants before for sure where they wouldn't open up. They would find these
Okay.
questions intrusive. This tells me it's a bit too early. I've jumped in a bit too
Okay.
early. I need some time first to build that relationship or that psychological
Mm,
safety I mentioned for them to feel comfortable to share with you. Because who are you? And what day one you meet me and you're asking me these deep questions, you got to expect me to
yeah,
share who I really am. You
yeah,
got to take some time to understand me.
yeah, true. Get to know them and yeah, yeah, keep trying for the teacher that asked that. Well, I think we are ready to kind of finish now, and
Mm.
we'll say a huge thanks, Girish. That was really
No, thank you.
inspiring,
Yeah.
and lots of ideas we'll take away. So thank you very much.
No, thank you for all the questions and the participants. Yeah, I'm glad I enjoyed this. Yeah,
Oh,
thank you, Melissa.
us too. So don't go away, everyone. We'll be
Mm.
back soon. This was only our first session today. We've got 6 sessions. The next one is about storytelling. So we're going from adults back down to primary students. We're going to meet a teacher and teacher trainer in Spain called Lucy. So stay tuned for the session on storytelling. We'll have a 15-minute break and then we'll be back. So thanks again to Girish. Thanks to Naomi, who's working with us on Facebook. Thanks to Kath, who's here moderating on Zoom. So everyone, happy World Teachers Day, but don't go away. We'll be back soon. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.